Alright, back at it again with small blind button for bet pot. Spot I'm kind of struggling in right now, but try to kick it off. Hopefully do well. I think a close fold. Yeah, the EV is pretty close to fold. So I think a board where we might not want to range bet, but it's still a pretty good board for us. We have a pretty good hand to bet with a bigger size. A turn where we want to play a lot of jams. Double flush draw. I think our hand's a pretty good hand to jam. We can get better flush draws to fold. And we have a lot of equity. Shove. Checking's also reasonable. Then maybe check jamming or check calling. Both okay. On the flop, yeah, kind of mixing up sizes, but mostly big size. And if we did check turn, I think they mostly stab. Pretty small in theory. I think people in game your stab a little bit bigger. It does suck if we do get jammed on. Actually kind of a cool spot for in position to jam. And then yeah, with 10-8, we can again make a decision, check jam or check call on the turn. So pretty good stuff. I think with an 87, I'm gonna go for the tricky check back. Mostly stab this hand, but with a high number, I'll check back. Pretty good turn for us. I think just a call. Okay, pretty good river for us again. That said, we don't have a great hand. I think versus small bet, we're just gonna call. I hope to beat Jack 10, Queen Jack, Queen 10. Yeah. Very bad board for us, I think. But with a pair, call. We fold in turn, I think, versus big bets. And I think checking back turn. Any reason to bluff yet? Probably not. Whenever I think just folding. I'm not sure what the best bluffs are here. I mean, or if we even do any bluffing in the spot per se. If we just like continue with chops. Yeah, spot where we just don't bluff. So ace-high boards tend to go 20% with range. I found to be a pretty good simplification. Obviously not the best hand to bet, and obviously not the best ace-high board. We did roll relatively low though, so I think betting is okay. So turn, I think just gonna play like 75 or check, pretty straightforward, and then kings no suit, pretty clear check. Maybe it prefers like blocking sometimes, although I'm just not really playing that. All right, river. Really want to check with an 87 or bet 10%. Block. I'm gonna check, but yeah, a lot of things going through my head on the river. So like, do we value bet king X? And if we do, probably like we value bet for 10%. If we check, like, do they have king X in their? Because I was gonna say we block checkbacks. So a lot of times when we have a hand that blocks checkbacks. And wants to check raise, it's a good hand to check because they're more likely to bet. But we don't really block too many, like, because they're not going to float the flop with king of diamonds, king of clubs too much. Maybe king queen, like very low frequency or something. Actually, versus 20%, you know, king queen might not be the craziest float for them. Yeah, they should float sometimes. But as you see how the river plays, so king X is value betting for 10%. Looks like betting 10% with kings is also a mistake, and we just want to basically jam, or checking would also be okay. So actually I'm okay with like my check, more or less. The EVs are going to be very close either way. I think I should probably base it more off what I think people are going to do in game. Do I think people are going to be turning these pairs into a bluff? Maybe, maybe not. Will people bluff the 6-5, 5-4? Probably always. People probably bluff too much with some spades. So like 10-8 of spades, I think people would just probably bluff. I don't know if people value bet this thin though, so actually it gets pretty close. But yeah, when we have kings with the spade, then we actually block their checkbacks because they're gonna call flop with spades, obviously, and then be checking back with. Oh, I thought they'd be checking back with the king of spades. It's like a. Yeah, just super thin value bet. With king king 9, king 7, king 7's two pair, king 8, king 9, king 10. Weird stuff going on. Yeah, so not exactly sure why would we rather check the king of spades ones, but that's it. Keep on playing. All right, pretty clear call. Not really do much raising. Again, same story. And pretty crazy call. I mean, I guess they're not bluffing with a queen. And, I mean, if they have a king, they might have, like, ace-king with a spade. So, I mean, we do a pretty good job of... we don't block bluffs, and we block a little bit of value. So, actually, it's like, maybe a hand we should think about a little bit more. Okay, pretty decent board for... Pretty neutral board, I would say. In this hand, I'm going to check. Can bet as well. And check fold. Pretty annoying versus 20%. I thought this is like kind of bottom of range. I'm not really finding this check raise though with king queen no suit. So that's something to kind of take note of mentally. That we can wait a minute. No, yeah, I'm tripping. I thought I was looking at the wrong. Node. But yeah, versus bet, we do call. We can call sometimes. Actually, mostly calling king queen. We don't really fold a ton. We just fold like ace high with an undercard. If we have 2 overs though, it's like a pretty decent call. Anyways, okay. I'm gonna call. Nice turn for our hand. I think out of position could do some jamming, maybe on the turn. So we just a pretty call. River, I mean, it's just like the spots where I kind of make punts where it's like a clear call or a clear jam. It's just hard to tell. Yeah, like I said, it's not like the biggest EV difference. We used to just jam. Like if he checked, we would jam. Yeah. I'll stab. I think barrel with 6s with a suit. Do we want a barrel? We have a high number though, so play the check back. Okay, looks like we're fine. Or good to check back. Opposed to betting. Yeah, I'm gonna raise river. That size. Go with this. Okay. I mean, raising's definitely fine. Just some sizing preference thing. Not too worried about it. Versus half, I think continue with 2 overs. An ace high. And mostly check back turn, I believe. Interesting, we stab some. And then river, we check back for sure. Yeah, a little like protection stab. Mostly call. Can raise sometimes. A funny line going on from out of position. Call again with high number. And I think bluff river. Just basically bet a size. I don't know. Go with bigger size. Because we rolled. But I would just have like one size in this spot. Probably like 70%. And then I guess we have like the all in. All in's pretty good. I think we mostly want to stab queens here when we show up with it. Well, pretty high though. And we want to call. Man, a jam, but mostly just 3-betting. I mean, okay. I'm gonna go for a spicy check raise with this one. Got a high number, so I'm okay with checking. And then I think we have a pretty good combo to check raise. I mean, I'm probably gonna get fucked with the size, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we want to bet. Like, I think my like line's fine. I'm not losing EV there. It's just I'm kind of unlucky to get the wrong size, more or less. Turn pretty similar to another hand we had. Kings actually. So it looks like I'm probably missing some like double blocks in these spots. This river is better for in position than like the king was better for out of position, I would think. Check. I was thinking about betting 10, but I think it makes as much sense in this spot. Yeah, king high boards, I just bet 1/3. With range, it's not losing any EV at all. I'm not gonna play some of these split strategies, I think. Like, anyone who's watching, go ahead and try to exploit me for betting 1/3 on king 9/7. I mean, I think a fold. It looks like a kind of appealing call, but I think it's just a fold. Okay, 20%, not 33. I think I roll pretty low. Okay, going for a check raise. I think I need to find a little bit more of these in game with like check raise with air. Rolled pretty low. Not my favorite pocket pair to continue though. Having kind of not the cleanest outs. Okay, fold. Yeah, I mean, Strill I feel like is pretty difficult, but in small blind, I'm kind of struggling with it. I only have like a 70%, which don't really care too much about this exact score because the way it's measured is, I think, a little flawed. But so I'm gonna just look at the hands and see if like I can pick up any whatchamacallit, any node which like I'm is playing a lot. Just when I jam turn, just thinks it's a punt. So these are like fringe spots that I'm not too worried about. And like, I mean, spades are bad. But that said, like, it's just a good run out for us, and I thought bluffing would be okay. But another kind of fringe spot in like a triple offline. Another fringe spot. If like I'm fucking up the spots that are like, okay, we face a bet on the flop and I fold hands that are supposed to be calls, or folding turn with hands that are supposed to be calls, or maybe missing some hands that are like clear barrels like pretty often, then I'd be like, all right, let's, drill that more. But when it's like some of these fringe spots, I'm not, happy to be making EV losses. This one was kind of interesting, calling turn of 10s. Just preferred. Okay, this one, yeah, I guess probably with 3-betting game, honestly. And another, just like fringe spots that, these weird lines. This was a check down line. Probably worth setting up some drills for like check down lines. Bet check bet, I think pretty difficult node to play. Yeah, but most of the, I mean, it does make sense, like, for most of the lines to be messing up and being like kind of awkward lines. That said, like, it's pretty cool. It shows the actions, and like you can see the lines that you lose EV in the most. Yeah, this is actually really cool. It color codes the error as well, so you can see if the mistake's being made on the river. So actually, like, if I were to pick up a pattern, it's a lot of these lines where there's a bet on the flop, turn, something happens, and then just get to the river, more or less. Alright, call it for this video. Might be back with some specific node drilling for small blind button. Do you want to try to improve in this spot?